I have many as the vice chair of one of my most important committees, which is communications. And he's just a font of information and help. So thank you for that, Manny.
Thanks, Diane. So, good to have you. And I would love to hear from you, first of all, like your, evolution into real estate and how Diane became the president, an active realtor and a president of one of the biggest associations in the country.
Well, actually, I came into real estate later in my life. 1999, I entered real estate after um, liquidating a music production company that I had. David Geffen, some of you may know, made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, and I found myself retired too young. My first career was as a behavioral therapist, which I loved dearly and use regularly at this point in my career. Um, so when I came into real estate, 1999, for those of us who were working at that time, was a fabulous year. And I walked into the year, my first sale was $750,000. I was just on top of the world. And only come to know that, thinking, of course, this would never stop, we had to keep our thumb on the pulse of real estate, and everything is cyclic. So along came that cycle where we weren't selling a lot of homes and the prices were down, and it was a real challenge. And I realized I'd prepared to be a realtor. I had a marvelous, marvelous mentor. His name is Monty Eisman. He's very, very well known in the San Fernando Valley. And he got me on the pavement. He got me out there and working and meeting other agents. And I was just delighted. One of my agents, I was assistant manager at that time at Rodeo Realty in Studio City. And one of my agents said, why don't you come to the SRAR and check out some committees? I ended up at that time, which is unusual to get on the grievance committee right off. I ended up on the grievance committee. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience to be exposed to those things that are going on in our industry that need correcting and that perhaps hopefully you haven't even thought about. So I got addicted. My first meeting, I just enjoyed it so very much. And the current president at that time, at the end of that meeting, came up to me and said, if you need a sponsor, I'm your sponsor. You're going to be a leader in this association. Well, we all know how enthusiastic we get with a little approval. And from that point forward, I've been on just about every committee. I've studied our bylaws, which most of us haven't even looked at. And I realized how ill-informed I was, how much more there is to real estate than what we do every day, which is, of course, extremely important. But staying on top of my game has always been my goal. So I began to grow in the industry and at SRAR, and bottom line, the whole thing, here I am, president of the association.
Congratulations. I love the, I think that should be your revised bio. Um, One thing that you touched on, so many things, but you said two, powerful things. Number one is you chose to be involved, right? You got excited about it. Maybe you saw something that, let's say most agents naturally in our industry don't see. So I would love to understand more about that, because here's one thing that I understand as getting more involved once again in our just beyond on an office or manage an office, etc., is what an impact can we do in our local level, not to mention in state or national level. But what made you really passionate about it to make that change and be involved in that capacity?
What made me passionate is I'm a great believer in pay it back. And when I came into real estate and did so well, And it really kind of changed my life at that particular time. I again recognized that SRAR, CAR, NAR, we are all, if you're a realtor, you're a member of all three or whatever association of realtors you belong to. In addition, you have CAR and NAR. And I began to be exposed to our ethics, which are a big deal in my life, and what we are called to do and how we are called to do it. And in recent years, what I've proven to myself is this involvement has not only allowed me to be supportive, I love mentoring. So it's allowed me to be supportive of our membership. It's allowed me exposure to, well, you have just a great broker who always exposes you to this, Rich Bassani, uh, always exposes me to all the latest information, and it's available to you as well. If you're not on a committee at SRAR, all of that information is always displayed at srar.com. Just about anything you want to know is available to you there. When I discovered all of the information that so enabled me, I proceeded to get more and more involved. And that's just available to, it is available to all of us. So whether or not you choose to be on a committee at SRAR or spend your days, your nights, and your mornings being a president of the association, it's such valuable information that we should all have. So
Yeah.
getting it is just handed to you. And again, if you go to SRAR and look at all those links, you'll see that there's information abounding, free classes, so on and so forth. I wanted to be involved with realtors learning the ethics, with realtors learning how to be successful realtors without being deceptive or deceitful in any way. And it's been a successful journey.
Yeah, I love that. I also appreciate that once again from insider, right? Because and that's the message to you guys, you know. And thanks again everybody for taking the time and joining us. Is you can really make a difference, not just in other people's life, like Diane is doing, in massive, you know, just massive impact, but also in your life, because it's a relationship based business, and you know, the more I get involved, I see it just comes down to it's not even, it's removing the competition then, right, in some way, and you're making more of a sincere relationship.
Well, yes, Minnie, there's that level. And then there's also something that I didn't mention, which I would like to mention, is in one fell swoop, I am working with the homeless situation, with affordable housing, with propositions that involve home ownership and renters as well. You know, we care about people. So at the association, for example, we have a committee called Governmental Affairs. And that's a select group of people. And we specifically work with our legislators and visit with them. Of course, now it's on Zoom, and get involved with what their interests are, so that when we need to come to them and say, such as Proposition 19 or what have you, please vote with us, or please help us to create land for affordable housing, etc. Their door is open to us. So a small group of us go once or twice a year to each of their offices, or now get on Zoom, and we discuss what's going on out in their district. And believe me when I tell you, we can make a difference. And when you get out there and see the families that are living in cars with children, and it's not because they're doing drugs, it's because they're doing life. And this is where they've landed for now. So it's a great sense of satisfaction to be able to be a part of, and that's all I am, is a part of a group of people who join with other people and make other people's lives better and tolerable.
Yeah. And I can hear the passion and the commitment in your voice, Dan. So,
Oh,
so
yes, definitely.
thank you for that as well. And that's another angle to, whoever is here watching. It gives you access. It gives you access to not just to be involved, but also to information. A lot of people asking, hey, what kind of data or insight I can share with my database sphere, etc. Well, you're in the front line. You're as I call it, insider when you're involved in that level. I'm not saying like as a president of, right? It doesn't happen to many people, but in the local level, you can be in various communities, etc. Dan is gonna share some insight about that in a second. But especially if you're a newer agent as well, you don't have to be 20 years in the business to be involved in a committee, right? And once again, you can make such an incredible connections and relationships. So you have that, and you have access to a lot of good information. Diane, what two questions? Number one is, where do you think agents can be more involved in when it comes to the board? And by the way, on this call we have various boards. We have agents from our Long Beach office, South Bay in Torrance office, the West Side, and Calabasas area. So it's at least like 4 or 5 different boards. Where do you think the agents can be contributing and benefiting from it as well?
Well, I think that getting certifications is a good start. Um, Taking the time to get certified, whether it's being a senior specialist or whatever your choice is, find a niche, find something that you're passionate about for your career, and then find a way to mentor or be involved with other people so that you can continue good work out there to people you know and people you don't know. Uh, Getting started, you can be a brand new agent and come on board and be on our events committee or um, any of our diversity committees. We do an education committees. Um, the important thing that you're giving yourself is exposure to some of we old timers who thrive on mentoring, who welcome you with open arms, because the younger generation is going to step into our shoes. And one of the things we're very, very aware of is mentoring our members. And this year is going to be greatly dedicated to education. I don't know how many people on this call have gone on to, listen to me being redundant, SRAR, and seen the videos that we offer that briefly, and they don't take a lot of time, and many have seen them all, that briefly explain to you coming soon, clear cooperation, and other issues that have to do with the MLS. They're right there for you. Just click on it if you have the time and watch. So educating our membership is extremely alive this year. It is something that needs to happen. If I may add to that, Manny, once a year we vote for our board of directors. Out of 10,300 members that I'm fortunate enough to govern over this year, 700 people voted in 2019 and 600 and some odd people voted in 2020. The board of directors makes the decisions that you live by. So being involved and reading the bios, hopefully knowing some of the people who are running for board of directors, but looking for those people who have a stellar background, you should take the time to vote because you're really voting for your own well-being. You want minds that are unbiased and there because they want to grow the business of real estate. I should
Great.
say the profession of real estate.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. That was a good a good punchline because once again, as getting more involved in the business, right? Since I started, I also remember that, and you told me that you said, hey, there's this newer launch. It's specifically in the Southern Regional. I'm not sure other organization, other boards, but the Leadership Academy, the Leadership seminar or certificate that they do.
It's the Leadership Academy. You had it right.
Yeah. And you even go to Sacramento one day and what have you. And I didn't really know why I'm doing this, really, like what I'm going to get from it. But while I was doing it and after fact, once again, the relationships, but also the insight, really, I was more exposed last year because of pandemic. And, if you remember, Diane, and also, thanks for some of those connections when we get involved with the CR economist and with the president and CEO of NAR, those guys, which did incredible work for us. You guys really have no idea how much action is happening behind the scenes. Call it, the political arena, if you may, but it's also our own politics. And what Dan just mentioned, all those proposition, etc. Some of them are either highly beneficial for us as people, homeowners, and professionals, and affecting massively our clients as well, right? Either positive or negatively. So thank you, Dan, for bringing this up. And once again, I'm as passionate as you to encourage people to get more involved, right?
Yes, and thank you for bringing up Ledge Day. That's a day that we do once a year. Of course, again, we're not going live this year, I don't think, but we did. We have the availability to give a grant to one person a year. We bus you to Sacramento. No, we don't. Excuse me. We fly you to Sacramento, and while you're there, you're going to go to the Capitol and you're going to meet our legislators. You're going to go into their offices. You're going to go into main chambers. Most importantly, you're going to get a taste of what it's like for the bills and the growth in our industry. What we do and what we say is of paramount import because we need the support of the legislators and they need our support. We're the ones who vote. So the legislative day is just spectacular. It's very inexpensive to attend if you don't apply for the award, but you should experience it. It's a wonderful experience. And we all have a lot of fun. It's a time to let our hair down a little bit too once we leave the Capitol. Join us.
Yeah. Then another question is, and once again, today you're in a different level because of your involvement and experience, etc. But same thing. Like if you're just starting or thinking about it, or you're in it, how do you balance between the being highly productive, producing as a realtor, and be as involved as what have you, committees, etc.
Well, our lives are mobile now, so that makes life a lot simpler. But for each of us, we have a certain period of time we can dedicate. If you're not a committee member, you still have everything available to you, and anybody is welcome to contact me anytime. Rattle my cage. I'm interested. I care about your ideas very, very much. Repeat that question for me, Manny.
Sure. I was asking. Let me ask you in a different way, right?
Balancing the time. I
Yeah.
apologize. I went off on another trip. Balancing time is, what you need. It's like Caravan when we had it. There was nothing that stood in the way of my going to Caravan, especially when I was a new agent, because I was everywhere. When people see you walk into a $15 million house, they assume you have buyers for it. If you walk into a $500,000 house, the same effect happens. So it was really important to me that those hours, twice a week, actually 3 times because I did the city as well, I spent nurturing my career. So when I went to SRAR, I looked at the schedules, I saw what fit me. I didn't have the time initially to be doing as much as I'm doing now. Now I'm privileged to have that time, but it does not interfere with my real estate career at all. COVID has, but this does not. In fact, it enhances it because you walk with a sense of confidence when you have knowledge. Knowledge causes growth. And knowledge is an ongoing event. You have to constantly be gathering it, but not phonetically. You don't have, frantically, excuse me. You don't have to be urgent about this. It all falls into place. So as much or as little time as you have, you are so welcome at SRAR, and I'm sure at any of your other associations that all of you belong to. So it's just a matter of you. What works for you? Are you able to be at a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning or not? You know, and that might decide which of the committees you choose. But go with your passion, go with what you're interested in. The Leadership Academy is terrific. I think we're charging $99 for it. At the end, you get back 50. Isn't that correct, Manny? They gave
Yeah,
you back 50 at the end.
yes, yes.
If
And
you
once again,
complete
yeah, and I'm not sure about other boards. I have to actually look at that.
Yeah,
Actually, but
I don't either.
yeah,
We all work together. That's another issue that I am on top of, and that is having the other AORs, Association of Realtors, get together, converse about what they're doing, talking about coming soon and how we can level the playing field with coming soon so that all realtors are comfortable with the rules and the fines and everything that's coming down from clear cooperation. And that's the reason we have coming soon, is because clear cooperation was introduced to us, and this was a way to benefit realtors and agents.
yeah, and thanks, Diane. And just to make a point once again is sometimes when you're if you hesitate to let's say in that specific case to be more involved, right? It means that you have intention to be more involved. You're just not sure if you can manage it, as Dan mentioned. So sometimes it's better off to commit to something, and by doing that, you're practicing time management, commitment, etc., in different level, and that's how you evolve into once again be more skillful in running the time and those commitments, etc. And then before you know it, you're because all of you guys are CEOs of big companies, right? If you selling 10 homes a year and it's you gross 10 million volume of sale, your company just sold 10 million volume sell. That's pretty massive, right? So I always so I always tell people just act accordingly to what you represent.
Talking to our agents, to our comrades here, it's a little bit of a challenge because you have one of the best leaders in all your leaders are absolutely terrific. Your level of education far surpasses most offices. I've been involved in very many offices and people and leadership in those offices. I've not quite seen anything as valuable as what is offered to all of us from leadership conversation to working the rich, giving you those wonderful classes. We give those at SRAR as well. But you are so fortunate, and you could take them on Zoom, but you're so fortunate to have in-house all that information. And this is an incredible, incredible profession. It's going to be as big as you want it to be. Just, don't sleep on your dreams. Tenacity is the name of the game. Just keep moving forward and don't neglect sphere of influence. I had so many people saying, you have to be president. You have to be president. That's my sphere of influence. Of course, they say that to me. But nonetheless, that sphere of influence is 10, 15 years down the road from now going to be your source of income, and the phone's going to be ringing into you and all of us on this call who are at that stage already. Rather, of course, you're going to continue marketing, but the phone rings into you and you get a call that says so-and-so recommended I speak with you. And that's what you're going for. You're going to create an atmosphere, a career that comes back to you tenfold. And that happens by being involved with people. And there's a plethora of people at your Association of Realtors, from managers to owners of companies. You're going to get great exposure. They're all realtors, so I'm not saying you're going to sell more homes, but if there's multiple offers and you're involved with these people, I say no more.
Yeah, and of course the perception and how you market yourself and level of conversation you carry out to your sphere, your sales sphere is significant for sure. Diane, name one goal that you're aiming, one of the goals you're aiming to achieve in 2021.
Just one, huh? Oh my
Only one
goodness,
for
I wish.
today.
The bylaws, our bylaws are antiquated. We haven't reviewed, and this goes for many associations. They have the bylaws in place and they need to be brought up to standard of today's real estate technology and approach. So I'm very deeply involved in that, the homeless, working very diligently for affordable housing. And one of the things that I found is important and I'm able to do now as president is get our legislators together, because they're all on different wavelengths. Some are on affordable housing, others are on infrastructure. So if you're talking to a legislator that's involved with infrastructure, the bottom line is he's not interested in affordable housing because he's saying your electric won't work if we put in 140 units down below you. We have to work on the infrastructure. So I'm bringing all those legislators together, and we're doing at our town hall, which I hope you all attend. It's the first one will be January 11th. And we have it every other week, and we have really meaningful speakers. So catch us at the town hall and you'll pick up so much information.
And I'm going to add that those links to our office's calendar. Thank you for that reminder. But once again,
Thank you.
You can learn so much, get so much intel, and also learn so much about our industry in a bigger scale, various aspects of it. So that's great.
And it's great to have the respect of your colleagues, but it's imperative to have the respect of yourself. And those things that you do without asking for recognition are the biggest rewards.
Well, Dan, I first of all thank you.
My pleasure.
I want, thank you for the wisdom and for your time. I'm proud to serve next to you, with you, our amazing industry. Proud to be in business with you, and I wish you great success this year. We are here to support. So once again, Diane Sydell, the president of the Southland Regional Board of Realtors in the Valley. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me, Manny.
You got it. Thanks,
And
guys.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year.
Manny.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a productive day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you.